Game ayos na. Wala nang retake. Game. 1, 2, 3. Ladies and gentlemen. Ulit. 1, 2, 3. Ladies and gentlemen. To the organizers participating in this research, the panel reactors, good day everyone. It is absolutely a privilege for us researchers to present our research paper to all of you. We will be presenting our qualitative research entitled Perception of Selected Parents of Grade 12 Students from Malate Catholic School on COVID-19 Vaccines. I, Ron Joshua Barit, came from the city of Pasay, Metro Manila. The same goes to Marcos Jurvy Fadrigalan. John Edward Capulong is from Pandacan, and Gine Caila Forteza from Malate, Manila. With all of us grade 12 students from Malate Catholic School. And now, we are ready to present our research investigating perception of selected parents of grade 12 students from Malate Catholic School on COVID-19 vaccines. Recognizing the notion, the future of the whole world in this time of pandemic is in the hands of scientists formulating COVID-19 vaccines as the answer to resolve this matter. As a result, vaccine manufacturers have been developing a vaccine to have immunity against virus. Now, what is a vaccine, you may ask? According to Miller E. 2015, a world-leading expert in immunization research has stated that unlike any other medication, vaccines are taken by healthy people to prevent various diseases and to ensure that health is immunized against different viruses circulating. However, this is a turnaround. While the incoming COVID-19 vaccine aims to secure immunization against virus, fear and stigma are still relevant to the parents towards vaccines. According to McGee C. and Bohannon K. in the year 2016, vaccine hesitation of parents have been a growing concern because it refuses them to let their children get protected from various diseases. Parents' refusal in creating barriers to themselves, children, as well as the vaccines. Now, why this problem is so concerning is because even though vaccine secures health, parents' vaccine hesitation are one of the more are one of the most important threats to it. And now, and that it can lead to no one willing to get vaccinated at all. Their perception is greatly affecting everyone about the information they are spreading towards these vaccines. For these reasons, the research are aiming to understand the problem of parents toward vaccines through this study.
For the researchers to be able to solve and know the answers, the researchers come up with two questions that will revolve around the study. The following questions are as follows. What do they know about the coming in COVID-19 vaccines? And how do they feel towards the safety and effectiveness of the COVID-19 vaccines? The researchers have prepared this set of questions to see what the parents know about the incoming COVID-19 vaccines and to see their view about the safety and effectiveness of it. For the research design, the researchers used a phenomenological type of study. For this research is focused on the perception of parents regarding the incoming COVID-19 vaccines. The participants were 10 parents from grade 12 students from Malate Catholic School and are ages between 40 to 60 years old. For the research environment, the researchers conducted the study within Malate Catholic School, which is located in 1030A Mabini Corner, San Andres Street, Malate, Manila. However, due to the ongoing pandemic, the researchers decided to do this research virtually. This is to ensure the safety of both the researchers and the participants, as well as to practice the safety protocols. The researchers also used different research instruments to properly conduct the study. An interview guide to know their perception about the incoming COVID-19 vaccines through an open-ended question. Survey and questionnaires that consist of different questions that are formed through a semi-structured questionnaire, an observation guide to see whether the answer of the participants reflect on their voice, feelings, and behavior, and audio record. This is to transcribe the answers of the respondents without any false information. We have gathered the data through the following procedures. The researchers composed a consent letter containing different information that will be needed for this study. After that, the letter was sent to the participants. After approving the consent letter by the participants, the researchers proceeded with the interview. After the interview, the researchers carefully analyzed and transcribed the information.
The results of the study of parents' thoughts and opinion about the COVID-19 vaccines have been compiled, arranged, and evaluated properly. The researchers used phenomenological analysis, which examines what people observe and reflects on their perception of a phenomenon. The researchers collected the different information through the interview that was conducted by the researchers. A review of the findings in focus group and by the help of the secondary sources, such as publication and other credible resources. The researchers also used descriptive analysis as well as interviews and questionnaires to find out what parents think about the COVID-19 vaccines. The research surveys inquired about parents' views on the upcoming COVID-19 vaccines. The researchers also ensured that everyone was protected during the collection of data because that is conducted entirely online with no physical interaction with the respondents. The researchers used homogeneous sampling protocol as part of the purposeful sampling procedure. The researchers chose parents of grade 12 students enrolled at Malate Catholic School. The respondents were selected based on their availability in this time of pandemic, as well as how they communicate and work during those periods. The findings were collected through the interview that was conducted by the researchers. The data has been carefully analyzed in order for the findings to be accurate. For the first statement of the problem, the findings show that parents are knowledgeable about the incoming COVID-19 vaccines. The researchers had anticipated this because COVID-19 have been circulated from months from a variety of trusted and verified sources. Furthermore, some are very knowledgeable about it and have access to the most up-to-date information. However, the researchers were surprised to see that certain parents openly acknowledge that they are unaware of the upcoming COVID-19 vaccines, despite the fact that knowledge about it has been disseminated and vaccines for COVID-19 has been widely shared by the government. Several vaccines were listed in the researchers' interview, but one vaccine in particular stood out: Pfizer. It has the most exposure to news, blogs, and social media, which is one of the reasons why it is mentioned by most parents. In fact, they are actually impressed with the result of the vaccines. Regarding the second statement of the problem, the findings show that they trust the safety of the vaccine because to them, they believe the scientists who formulates these vaccines. The researchers were surprised that parents are willingly to take the vaccines once it becomes available to the public. This is also applies to letting their children get vaccinated too. The researchers were surprised since the literature that the researchers have gathered stated the opposite. However, another finding suggested that this doesn't apply to the vaccine coming from China because they are hesitant with its side effects and are concerned about the efficacy rate of it. Another finding suggests that even though they've heard very minimal side effects of the vaccines, it hugely affects their perception about it. That's why there are parents who do not want to get vaccinated and letting their children get vaccinated also.
After employing the research steps, gathering, analyzing, and interpreting all the relevant data, the researchers arrive at the following conclusions. Parents that are well informed and updated with the recent news regarding COVID-19 vaccines are more likely to trust the incoming vaccines, especially due to the data that were being presented in public. On the other hand, parents with little knowledge of the incoming COVID-19 vaccines have more room of information to fill, more questions, and more uncertainties. These parents are more prone to affect their perceptions towards vaccines, and this lack of information is where misconceptions and misinformation take place. However, no matter how knowledgeable parents are or how little they know about vaccines, despite the efficacy rates and other reassuring numbers of data, parents' perception towards the incoming COVID-19 vaccines will all be based on their willingness to believe in these data. There are some, though very informed, are not even considering taking the vaccine. Everything will all be based on how they trust these vaccines. For these reasons, the researchers are humbly recommending the following to aid this vaccine hesitation issue. Number one, parents must be responsible enough to inform themselves and their children regarding the different variants of COVID-19 vaccines or about vaccines in general. This is to lessen the rate of people, especially parents, with misunderstanding and misconception about different kinds of COVID-19 vaccines. Number two, getting information from trusted sources is more impactful than opinions. For this very reason, people, especially parents, should be responsible for informing their neighbors, friends, and relatives as well. For information from a known source is much more credible and more trustworthy. Lastly, government must have a firm medical image that citizens can trust. This means that the government must work on building the trust of the citizens to them, specifically when it comes to the field of medication. This trustworthy image will exponentially decrease the rate of hesitation for citizens, especially parents, have a firm trust in the government. As a result, vaccine approved medication by the government are more likely to be taken by the citizens. So that's all for our virtual research presentation focusing on the perception of selected parents of grade 12 students from Malate Catholic School on COVID-19 vaccines. Thank you.
Nice one. Let's go.
Ilang minutes?
Wait, stop natin